Days of Our Lives recap. Friday, March 1. Stefan botches Harris hit. Theresa's confession rocks Tate. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news. Days of Our Lives spoilers recap for Friday, March 1 reveals that Stefan showed up at the sanitarium dressed like a croaker and put on a surgical mask as he approached Harris Michael's room. Stefan sounded concerned about trying to get once Officer Goldman, but she surprised him by acting glad she was there since she demanded a cappuccino break. Officer Goldman asked if Stefan wanted anything and gentled him on the arm, so he snappily realized she was working for Clyde. Once Stefan entered Harris' room and prepared to fit his IV with the vial contents, Harris' eyes snapped open and he hopped out of bed to snare him. There was a physical battle as Harris put Stefan in a chokehold, but Stefan claimed he'd no choice. Harris argued that everybody makes choices and refocused out that Stefan's fingerprints were each over the hype. So that was the alternate time he'd tried to exclude a Bobby. After Harris made it clear that he was giving the orders now, he said Stefan was taking the fall for this and that he was going to help him take down Clyde Weston. Once Harris got Stefan to confirm that he understood, he said Stefan could go and that he'd be in touch. Stefan bolted out of the room, but Harris was out of breath and in pain as he halted back into bed. Officer Goldman appeared and sounded surprised to find that Harris was still alive. The bus started turning for Harris, so Goldman reached for her armament, only to reevaluate effects when she saw a sanitarium hand entering the room. Officer Goldman eventually ran off as Harris realized she must be one of Clyde's intelligencers. In Steve Johnson's office, he went over Tripp Johnson and Wendy Shin's case with John Black until Brady Black called asking if his pater was coming to see Tate. Black Steve assured John that he could handle effects without him for a while. So John indeed headed over to Tate's new halfway house. That left Steve alone when Konstantin Melemis entered to formally again bandy what happened area. Steve eventually came clean about being the pawn's tutor and said no bone was supposed to die that day. After Steve stepped down to take a call from Victor Kyriakis back also, he returned to find a youthful girl had been shot, though he didn't know who she was. Now Steve realized that was Katharina and that the unconscious man coming to her was Konstantin. Still, Steve defended John and criticized maniac Stefano Demera for the programming. Stefano and Victor were gone, so Steve suggested Konstantin could spear on their graves if he wanted to. John was a good man who had suffered enough in Steve's eyes, but Konstantin blustered about his own suffering and wanted John to pay along with Steve. At Tate's halfway house on Friday's day's occasion, Brady was dissatisfied to find that he wasn't on Tate's list of callers. Tate let Theresa Donovan in alone while John got updates on the situation from Brady. After Brady pushed John to go ahead and see his grandson, John sounded eager to put in a good word for Brady. In the visiting room, Tate told Theresa that Remedy brought up a lot of stuff for him about Brady not being there for him as a sprat, especially after they moved to California. Theresa said that was her fault since she prevaricated to interlace Brady in a murder case and assured she got guardianship. It was Theresa who claimed they should move to California, so she admitted she kept Brady from Tate. That news left Tate reeling, but Theresa wasn't done. After Theresa confessed the slip in her recovery, she refocused out that Brady came through for her with plenitude of support. John eavesdropped part of Theresa's admission and backed her up when it came to Brady's love for Tate, who eventually agreed to let Brady in. Although Brady assumed John got through to his son, Tate admitted it was Theresa who got him to see the light rather. Brady set up out about Theresa's concession and thanked her as he hugged Tate, who was sorry for condemning his father. Tate also embraced Theresa and praised her frippery in telling him the verity. At the Dimmermans on Friday's Days of Our Lives show, Holly Jonas sounded frustrated over Nicole Demera dodging her questions, but Nicole easily didn't want to overwhelm her. E.J. Demera mentioned commodity about Holly not letting her muscles atrophy after this long in bed, so Holly wondered just how long she'd been in a coma. After Holly walked over to a president with E.J.'s help and ate some of the food Nicole brought, she eventually got them to give some answers. Holly realized she'd supposedly been in a coma for months and wanted to know how she ended up in one. EJ said opioid-bejeweled medicines were set up in Holly's system, so Nickel and EJ asked if she flashed back where she got them. Holly didn't, but she sounded nervous and acted like perhaps someone cured her drink. EJ was eager to latch onto the idea that Tate roofied Holly, so he pushed Nickel to see that in a moment alone with her in the hallway. Meanwhile, Holly flashed back kissing Tate before their date and said his name audibly while looking reflective. Subsequently, on Friday's day's occasion, Holly sounded to be asleep as Nickel spoke to EJ in her room. Nickel felt like it'd be her fault if Holly willingly took the medicines and acted like it'd make her a failure as a mama. Once Holly was alone again, she opened her eyes to reveal to Days suckers that she'd been hearkening in on the disquieting discussion. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Holly has some delicate opinions in her future, so stay tuned too. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.